We have to be united before we can come together to seek for our rights in certain areas, both politically and otherwise. That is why I'm saying Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, their first push should be to unite all Igbo-speaking people across the 13 states of the Federation so that we can speak with one voice. Look at the Yoruba people with just their 6 states. Since 1999, in this present political dispensation, the Yoruba people have occupied the presidency now for a period of 8 years with Olusegun Obasanjo. From 1999 to 2007, the vice presidency, 8 years, with Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, from 2015 to 2023, and then now a Yoruba man again as president, seeking to do 2 terms. Ndi Igbo tetenu n'ụla. Tetenu n'ụla. Don't let anybody deceive you. Unity of Ndi Igbo will give us anything we want. Imagine if the 13 states occupied by Ndi Igbo plus the Ndi Igbo in diaspora choose to unite. Do you know what power that confers on us? Population that the Yoruba people are boasting with in Lagos, in Ibadan, in all their states. I guarantee you that 30% of that population is of population of Ndi Igbo. If I add all other ethnic groups to it, we are looking at 50% minimum. Ndi Igbo, let us unite. Let us unite and forge a common front. Since Alex Ekwueme, we have not had any Igbo son or daughter get close to the presidency or vice presidency. Somebody, there's the man I was looking for his name here. He's an Igbo man who served as vice president after Alex Ekwueme left. I think he was vice president to Babangida. And his name is Commodore Bitu Ukiwe. They said he served as the de facto vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because he was the chief of general staff. He's from Abia State. Since this our brother that I mentioned, Bitu Ukiwe, who served from 1985 to 1986, left. Anybody born in 1986 is now 40 years old. So since the last 40 years, no Igbo son has occupied the position of president or vice. And then we started assuming that the vice presidency is too high for us. Maybe the Senate president will be our birthright. When last did we have an Igbo son as Senate president? So Nigeria continues to undermine Ndi Igbo gradually until it will come to a time. Look at now, what do we have? The highest ranking Igbo son in Buhari's government is, I'm calling Buhari instead of Tinubu, because he said both of them are the same thing. The highest ranking Igbo son in Tinubu's administration is Honorable Benjamin Kalo. Who is the deputy speaker of the House of Rep. So you have the president from Yoruba, vice president from Hausa, Senate president from the South, that is the place they call Ibibio, Efik or Ibibio, any of them that he's from. They have the speaker before they now remember the Igbo. Then you will have some Igbo sons that suckle their mother's breasts. They will now come online to tell you, no, we have to align with the center. Center Buogi. Center Buogi there. Which center are you aligning with? Center that doesn't give you respect? Center that doesn't know if you exist? Center that undermines your people? What kind of useless center is that? And then a league of former governors from the south is assembled the other day in Enugu. And what could they talk about? They were talking about how to support Tinubu's second term ambition. If not for the ingenuity of most families in Igbo land, How will our parents be eating 3 square meal every day? How do people survive? Even you watching this video, if you are in Nigeria, how do you survive? My vehicle that I used to fill its tank before with 14,000 naira, 70,000 naira cannot fill my tank anymore. What kind of wickedness did we find ourselves in supporting? And you find some people jumping around that they are supporting continuity and they are trying to align themselves with the center. And one of them, a billionaire from Igbo land, Anambra State, even said that when Tinubu finishes, he will hand over to an Igbo man. Upon what agreement or arrangement is that? Ndị Igbo, we have to unite. There are 3 key things Tinubu has to do for Ndị Igbo that Jonathan failed to do. Because one of the problems we had was Jonathan bouncing into the sin upon the ways of Ndị Igbo. I remember when the Minister for Information, our sister, Professor Dora Nkem Akuili, was shouting on TV that Jonathan should be sworn in as president. On his own, it wasn't just Jonathan. It was Goodluck, Ebele, Azikiwe, Jonathan. 2 Igbo names. And then they believed he was an Igbo man. What did we get from Jonathan's presidency? Ministerial appointments that are statutory. Of course, every state must produce a minister or 2. These are the things we got from Jonathan. People went for national confab, sat down, wrote down recommendations and gave to this man, and he sat on it. Recommendations that would have given us at least regional autonomy, at least state police, at least a restructured economy. Jonathan sat on it. Today he's jumping around and people are saying he's trying to contest the presidency. Upon what credibility? Ndị Igbo, we have to unite. Sanya Ayin and Miri. We have suffered enough in Nigeria. You don't know what it means to have presidential power. That is why you think Obasarani, Ndị Igbo will continue to thrive. Will continue to thrive when other economies are developing on the benefits they are getting from the taxes they are collecting from Ndị Igbo. You want to ship container, it lands in Tinkan, in Lagos. They clear it there, the money goes to the Lagos state government and the federal government. You choose to bring it to Port Harcourt, it will stay there 2 months, it has not come out, or 1 month. You choose to do it in Lagos, 2-3 days, it is out, with your money gone. Why do you think goods are expensive? Customs posted recently that they have made trillions in terms of revenue. Who is that revenue coming from? The Yoruba people that are importing goods? Ndị Igbo. Give us our own seaports. Give us the small seaports by dredging the Omambara River in Anambra. Dredge the Uguta and give us in Imo State. Dredge the one in Marina in Calabar and give them in Calabar. Dredge in Escavos and give them in Warri. Ndị Igbo, we have to wake up. Tomorrow, a Yoruba man who has not had his bath for 1 week will stand up and say, Ndị Igbo, go back to your state, go back to your state, go back to your state. Iran and South Africa, the same thing. Ndị Igbo, go back to your state. Nigerians targeting Ndị Igbo, go back to your state. Iran and Ghana, the same thing. When can we wake up and tell ourselves the home truth that nobody else can tell us? We have to unite and make a demand on Nigeria or break away from Nigeria like others have advocated. I'm not an advocate of that breakaway, but everything that has happened demands a breakaway. If Nigeria sees Ndị Igbo as part of it, then we have every right to contest for the presidency and to occupy that presidency for 2 solid terms. You, the Igbo son or daughter who is every day online supporting Tinubu, God will punish you. If it is because of what you're benefiting, It's probably understandable. But you pushing every day that all of us, we have to align with center will kill you. You will die in that center. I'm very, very angry. Your Igbo sons who are brave enough to strategize to ask for what rightfully belongs to them are doing so. And they are being frustrated. They are being frustrated by the courts. They are being frustrated by the system. Every political party that His Excellency Gregory P2B goes to crashes, begins to have internal crisis. They gave PDP its own internal crisis. The man left to Labour Party. They started giving Labour its own internal crisis. He left to ADC. Now they are giving ADC their own internal crisis. Just for a Yoruba man to do second term. Thereafter, they will say it's no longer the turn of the South. We should support our Hausa person. If Hausa person finishes, another Yoruba will prepare again. God will punish all of you that are supporting Yoruba man for second term. It shall not be well with all of you. If you are so pained, leave, unsubscribe to this channel and get out. If you are a promoter of Igbo culture and you feel what I'm saying is wrong, also drop a comment here. Let me learn from what you have said. What kind of a country operates on such bigotry, such open wickedness, such open marginalization? And when you talk about it, they say, hey, why are you always crying marginalization? Or if I am poured oil, I should say they poured me water. If somebody pours me red oil, I will say, no, you poured me water. So that I will not stand the risk of being mocked. We have to call things out the way they are. We have to call it out the way it is. Igbo, we have to unite for a common purpose. For a common purpose, for our own common good. You see this marauding headsman that Nnamdi Kanu talked about, and it looked like he was a madman. He was an overthinker. Today they are here. Yesterday I saw a video of an Hausa man lamenting, praising Nnamdi Kanu. He's saying that he is from Kano, and that in Kano State, even when Remi Tinubu visited them, they used a Fulani girl to welcome her, showing that Kano is a Fulani state now. If they can wipe out people of their similar religion, how much more you, who is a Christian, who they have told if they slap you here, turn the other side. Please, let us open our eyes. The quest for an Igbo son to become president is not parochial. It is not a favor they are trying to do us. It is our right. Constitutionally, it is our right. And if you are among us, among the people sabotaging that right or chance, it shall not be well with you. Before the word Kogi, Delta, Enugu, all those words became states, we had Igbo people living in them. So Igbo Bofu. There's a viral video of a young Deltan who is from Iseluku insisting that he's from Delta Igbo. And the interviewer was telling him that there's nothing like Delta Igbo. And he insisted he's from Delta Igbo. In the end, I said, why not just say you are Igbo? And everything ends. I am Igbo. Then you start talking about which part of Igbo land you are from. Igbo ni Nebofu. Yesterday, I'm calling it yesterday because 2 years ago is just yesterday. In 2023, 3 years ago, in 2023, there was a clamor for an Igbo person to become the vice presidential candidate of the PDP, since a Northerner has taken the presidential ticket. And the Yoruba person has already finished a vice presidential slot too. Somebody from Delta, Dr. Ifeanyi Atokowa, who had just finished governorship for 8 years, came out to say he's an Igbo son. Yes, he's from Delta State, but he is Igbo. And that he should not be counted out. So the slot was given to him as an Igbo son. Koje no chiputa anya ndi Igbo. Koje no chiena anya aso Igbo. In 2023. This is 2026. The same man is with microphone telling people that he can never be part of Southeast. It is either out of illiteracy, out of selfishness or greed that is usually associated with politicians, and out of the ignorance of the people cheering him. That somebody will 3 years ago come out to say he can take what belongs to Igbo, and in 2026 he comes out to say, but I am not part of the Southeast. What is Southeast? What is even South-South in terms of coordinates in geography? There's nothing called South-South. Nothing at all called South-South among sub-regions. Even if it is usually widely said that Alex Ekwueme, one of our brothers who was a vice president, was among the people who proposed those regions. What is South-South? Nothing. There's nothing called South-South. So if you are Igbo, you are Igbo. Like our brother here, Chibike, just said. You are Igbo, you are Igbo. So, whether you are in Anioma, by Anioma I mean whether you are in Enuane, where I am from, whether you are in Ika, whether you are in Ndokwa, whether you are in Ika includes the Igbo people in Edo State, the Banke, whether you are in Kogi State, whether you are in Benue State, no matter where you find yourself, if you are Igbo, you are Igbo. Just tell them you are Igbo. And the quest for the creation of an Anioma state is one of the ways in the Igbo are saying we want our Igbo speaking people united in the same region. Give them their own state. We have had so many assurances over the years, over the course of 71 years. Until today, we are still having promises upon promises. They will create it today. No, they are not creating it. It's a lie. Ndi Igbo, this tortoise movement of APC and Nigeria's political elite, with the people backing them from outside Nigeria against Ndi Igbo, is not a conspiracy theory. It is not a propaganda. It is something you, no matter the age you are, have lived to see. I shared a video with us, and probably the owner of the video copyrighted it so much that the video was marked for copyright infringement. So I removed the video. What is the video about? The video was talking about, in fact, how did I get the video for a start? I got the video from the social media handle of Chief James Onanefi Bori. So I started researching on the video and I found out. Senator Ben Obi was a special advisor on political matters to President Olusegun Obasanjo between 1999 and 2003. And he made one shocking revelation during a TV interview. He said that Olusegun Obasanjo was meant to rule for just one term. Just one term. And then Alex Ekwueme will finish up the second term. That's Yoruba man rule one, and Igbo man will rule second term. That was the agreement. That was the arrangement with all the governors who are in PDP. As Obasanjo's first term was coming to a close, he started noticing that this man doesn't want to leave power. He wants to run for second term. He said, this was not the agreement. And they came up upon PDP a very great crisis in 2003. And then he was the one who was asked to go and discuss with all the governors, get their support, and then they will proceed. He said all the governors in Nigeria who were in PDP had agreed that the Yoruba man should go back, the Igbo man should go and sit down. That Igbo man was Alex Ekwueme. But only one man refused. The man refused to sign the signature. He refused to even pick anybody's phone call. He went underground. That man was James Ibori. He said he eventually went and looked for James and got him to support Obasanjo. He grudgingly did. That was James Ibori's problem with Obasanjo. And they massively ensured. I'm not absolving him of money laundering offenses. So all of them laundered money from Lucky Benedio, Joshua Dariye, all of them, including the one ruling you now. But James Ibori was single-handedly singled out and punished severely for supporting Igbo, for supporting an Igbo presidency. I shared that video, but I don't know, because of copyright. The person who did the interview, or this channel, political channel called Symphony, brought it down. But I got that video from Chief James Ibori. That was 2003. You can check how many years ago. 23 years ago. Since then, no Igbo son. That was why Obasanjo was shuffling between, make this Igbo man, he will make Adolphus Wabara Senate president. Oh, it didn't work, I remove him. I put Empire sign. It didn't work, I remove him. I put this one. He was putting as many people as he could as Senate president to pacify those who are aggrieved, while punishing the man who spoke up for Ndị Igbo. Ndị Igbo teta nonola, sanya na mmiri. These people are not more than us in number. They may be richer than us. That was their plan. I have watched 2 hours long interview of General Yakubu Gowon talking about why they struck Igbo land in 1967. He said Ojukwu has oil in his region. And probably with the resources he will make from selling the oil, he may even conquer Nigeria and bring Nigeria under his control. So he had all the foreign support he needed, and they crushed Igbo land and told you no victor, no vanquished. While telling you no victor, no vanquished, they ensured that the one who was vanquished till today has never occupied any position known as president or vice president. They knew what they were doing. They know what they are still doing till today. If Tinubu finishes and hands over to an Hausa man, they will say we should wait for the turn of the South. By then, P2B will be 80 years old or 70 something, going to 80. That time, a Yoruba man will come out again. Will say, he's an old man now. We need a younger person. Some of the idiots from our area who call themselves billionaires. I don't know what makes somebody a billionaire in Igbo land. Maybe because of money, but not integrity. They will come out and say, no, let's support him. You know, we have to align. We know our people are not educated enough. What? Are you more educated than us? People are educated by going to school or educated by experiences they have had. We have watched firsthand how these people hate us. We don't need you to educate us separately about it. We already know. Nigeria doesn't want the advancement or political advancement of an Igbo man. It means one thing. Make an Igbo man. P2B was saying, give me 1 tenor, and they thought he was joking. Give an Igbo man 6 months, Biko. Not 1 tenor. 6 months presidency. Go and pick up that confirmed report and approve it. Implement it. Regional government. Let's govern ourselves by region. Open up our seaports. Let's import things if we want to. We're no longer in battle. We're not fighting war. We're not importing ammunitions. For God's sake. So that Igbo can import their goods down to Igbo land. If a Lagosian or Yoruba man wants to buy spare parts, let him come down to Onitsha. Let him come down to Ariaria, main market. Or Sisioma. Let them go around Igbo land to go and buy. Not we going there on the other hand. Or spending money to transport goods from Lagos down to this place. Thereby increasing the cost or the sales of the items. Give us that presidency and see what we will do with it. And you who should support the presidency say we don't have chances. The chances are very low. What are the chances of Yoruba people that have just 6 states? They have had presidency now going to 12 years. Vice presidency 8 years, that is 20 years. We have had 0. 0. and the Association of Failed Former Governors of the Southeast came together to say they are endorsing President Tinubu for second term. And the shameless man who made the video had the mouth to open and say that some of them went for medical trip. Medical trip because there's no hospital where they can treat themselves in the states where they ruled for 8 years. Please, this is Enu, a cultural forum where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people, and today we are vested in discussing Igbo unity. Do you think Ohaneze Ndi Igbo are doing enough to promote Igbo unity? Do you think there is more to be done? What do you think they should do to promote the unity of Ndi Igbo as we approach the election year 2027? If you have watched this video up to this moment, kindly also double tap it to give it a thumbs up. Our videos have ranked very lowly on search engines. Our engagement has been very poor as well. So we decided to do a live stream to help our videos come up. And that is the reason why we are making this video. If we make these videos and it doesn't get the necessary likes and views it should get, it is because you have failed to engage with them. So please, engage with this video, share it to your audience.